A riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma is the famous Churchill quote about Russia. Up until recently, we could also use this quote to describe our collective understanding of aging and beauty. Lucky for all of you, I have Danijela Schenker on the podcast to share her depth and breadth of knowledge on skincare and regenerative health knowledge with all of you. Danijela is a co-founder of Forever Beautiful by Science in beautiful Zürich, Switzerland. From blue tongues to microneedling and cutting-edge scientific skincare that addresses the hallmarks of aging, this episode is packed with a lot of goodies. Buckle up, buttercups. It's time to get health wealth paid. Welcome back, shot callers. Today, we have a bombastic show for you. I believe this will be a very, very popular episode because it is with a beauty, anti-aging, and longevity expert. And for those of you watching via YouTube, I have blue teeth, and we're going to explain that soon, very soon. It's Biohacking Live. Our next guest is Danijela Schenker, founder of Forever Beautiful by Science. And boy, do we all want what she's eating, drinking, and treating. Look at that skin. Danijela has been a biohacker before it was even cool to use that word. She's Swiss and based in Wollishofen, Switzerland, down the street from the rather well-known Hirslanden Clinic. She's a disruptor and a change maker, and therefore we want to welcome her onto the Shot Caller podcast. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Shannon, for a nice introduction.
Shall we show our blue tongues
yes,
for everybody?
Should.
All right. If you're only listening, you're just going to have to catch the YouTube version. Yes. I actually met Danijela. I'm looking off screen because I met her through Jerry recently, but I'd actually bought a bed secondhand from Jerry for my son, and I bring that up for two reasons. It's why I ultimately ended up here. And networking is really important for women. It's something that I talk about a lot. Women need to network more and support each other, and boy, does this group of ladies really support each other. But I also just wanted to point out that I recycle and I reuse things. I'm living by it.
That's very good.
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
Okay.
I love
that.
So I just wanted to give a little bit of background. Danijela, before we dive into all of the really cool things that are here, what do we need to know about your past? Not anything salacious. What do we need to know about your past that makes sense for why you are here on this path? Is there anything interesting about your past, whether it's career or upbringing, that kind of brought you to this point today?
Yeah. So I think as long as I can remember, I was interested in the medical field. So this was always my passion. That's why I ended up as a nurse on the ICU. And I was also a nurse trainer on the ICU, because what I always loved is to spread knowledge. That was always the thing that I really was passionate about. And but what in the end brought me here, I think it was around 40 something. I looked very young for a very long time. And then with 40 something, I recognized, oh, I also age. So I was quite shocked. So I thought, okay, what can I do? So, and everything that I could find on the market somehow wasn't satisfying to me. I thought, okay, I don't want to have Botox. I don't want to have too much fillers. And that was basically all the solution that they have. And so I stumbled basically over 10 years ago on microneedling at that time. Somewhere in South Africa who were using that for scars, to regenerate scars, but otherwise than that, nobody, it wasn't known at all. Now it's very famous and everybody knows it. But at that time there was nobody. So that's when I started actually my microneedling journey. And then just out of an idea, I thought, okay, I think I'm going to opening up a longevity anti-aging clinic, because I think we have to do it better. We have to work with the body. We have to regenerate it. And it was very clear for me from the beginning on that we just can't just work on the skin. We have to work on the whole body. I mean, you can only have a beautiful skin if you have a healthy body. So
we're definitely going to get into that. And you sort of, I guess, lead me a little bit to the topic of, you started off from the beginning with that appreciation. So you it seems like you had the idea, or you were living a relatively healthy life
Yes,
at
I
that
did.
time.
I did.
It's not that you weren't, and then you discovered, oh, I need to.
No.
Okay.
No.
So from the get-go, we're a healthy person, and that's maybe why you recognize that this is also important.
Yeah, I'm just also observing, and I always, when I see people, they eat a lot of unhealthy things, they don't live it. It's just, I mean, you just have to go into the supermarket and see what people have in their car, and then you look at their face. It just matches.
Yeah, yeah, tragically. Do you see gin all over my face? Or is that a healthy alcohol? Maybe there's, tequila apparently is right? Okay. I told you we were going to have fun. Okay. It's important. We have a mission. We want to educate the women. Yes. And honestly, I do want to say that while we're going to have fun, we believe in fun. We started this podcast, or 5 minutes before, we were dancing to Shaggy and Bombastic, because it's very important to live young, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Until the very last day.
If you're not happy, if you don't have a positive mindset, there is no treatment in the world that will make you beautiful. And unfortunately, the mindset you see in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're gonna dig into that.
Yes,
soon.
I know.
We definitely will. Yeah, exactly. Just on the business side of it, because there's a lot of women out there who either are starting their own business, would like to start their own business. How did you kind of build your client base? Just kind of an overview. And then did you need to differentiate yourself, or were you already very differentiated because not very many people were doing that?
Yeah, I was already very differentiated because when I started with microneedling, there was basically nobody who was doing that. And I was also lucky. The first clinic where I've been, I had a dermatologist just across the street. And he immediately catched up with the microneedling and loved what I do. So he sent me basically all his rosacea patients, because treating rosacea is a quite frustrating topic for a lot of dermatologists. There's still not a lot of stuff on the market for rosacea. There is a few stuff, I know, but it's still not the golden grail. And we started needling rosacea basically at a time where it was still off-label, needling rosacea, because of this dermatologist, and we just got beautiful results. We got the patients off the medication. Wow. And so that just spread it mouth by mouth. And finally then somewhere in the States, somebody heard about me. So that's basically why I'm the official microneedling trainer for Switzerland for the company Dermapen right now. Wow. Because they heard that I'm needling, and so as I was one of the early users, and I was a training nurse before, so it just came together, and now for a few years already I'm training microneedling. So of course that also spreads, and a lot of people know me because I'm the training nurse.
You've got a reputation for the microneedling.
Get a reputation for that, yes.
Just a side topic, I did a last week for 4 nights in a row this Tony Robbins Unshakable on online conference, and he had a guest speaker. I don't know if it's Thursday night, doesn't matter. She's the Jamie Cairn Lima. Okay. She is a billionaire now. She started a company called It Cosmetics, because she had awful rosacea. Yes. And she could not find makeup that would cover it. Yeah. And so she came up with her own. Yeah. And the cosmetic side of it, you're dealing with addressing the longer term solution, yes, of course. But you can imagine how many people out there might feel terribly insecure about it. Oh yeah, and I always feel very sad when I see people on the streets and I see they have rosacea, and I can't just go to them and say, wait, I can help you. You can slide them a business card. Then I always think, oh, it's too bad it's not out, the knowledge. I mean, right now it's off. It's actually a real indication to needle rosacea, and we really can help people with that. They can get rid of all their steroids and antibiotics and all the stuff they're set on. Of course, they have to needle regularly, like you do sports regularly, but with that, they're doing fine. Gosh, that's really cool to know. I don't know much about rosacea, but I know people suffer with this. And I think it's also worth pointing out that you're not here, I'm not here, we're not here just to talk about just beauty. I mean, it's feeling good about yourself. Oh, definitely. It's feeling good about, walking out the door, or going to work, or, going to a concert, going dancing. Yes. And there, everybody's got a different makeup. And if somebody's got acne, which will come to kind of some of your treatments, but I know you do treat a lot of people with acne as well. that this is life-changing for a lot of people emotionally.
It is. It is. I think if you don't feel well about yourself, you
Yeah.
will just express this, and even
Yeah.
your skin will express that. It's so important that besides all the skin treatments that we do, it's really important that you do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And you have to have something in life that you're passionate about, as well as sleeping well, eating well, doing
Definitely.
sports, and doing all these other things that are belonging into the biohacking hormetic field. But yeah, first of all, you should enjoy your life.
Yeah.
That's what you see and what you express.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to ask you about some of your, at the moment, favorite beauty brands and products. The podcast is going to run through quite a few different sections, but I know that women are just frankly going to want to hear this. They're just going to want to know. I also understand that this can change over time. You might like a particular product at one moment and then maybe not so down the road. But what are the things that right now you think they've got an excellent product? And then you can tell us why, like what part of the face you're using it for, or what you think is great about it.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to skincare products,
yes, skincare, yes,
I mean, this was a very open question.
That's very true. That's very
true. For hours on that. If it comes to skincare, I have lots of lines, and I have different lines because I treat different things, and some lines have ingredients that other lines don't have. So also some ingredients is a bit stronger or a bit weaker in another line. So I use that basically if somebody has a very sensitive skin, I go with the rather weaker version. I'm having for years, I think I was the first here in Switzerland who were carrying Zain Obagi Medical. That is a very famous brand, and I still have it. They have excellent products, but I also have Julia Hunter. I love her. She has a very holistic view on skin, and her stuff is really clean, and you can give it to the most sensitive skin and it will react beautifully to it. But I also have a few other companies, and right now I'm trying out Young Goose.
Yes.
I don't know if somebody heard about Young Goose. I love Young Goose, but I love them because they're far ahead of the skincare science that is out right now. Because I mean, in longevity science, we're knowing the 9 hallmarks of aging that we have to tackle, from senescent cells to the mitochondria that are not working anymore, and they basically put that into skincare. So for everything that we as biohackers swallow to improve our body performance and health, they have it in skincare, and that's brilliant. I mean, that's so far ahead of time, and I think they're going to be very big one day, and everybody will know about them because they're one of the first people who are going this route. There are small brands who have side products. They're tackling one hallmark of aging, but they're really tackling almost all hallmarks of aging, and that's quite impressive.
Well, I learned about Young Goose through these ladies because I now become quite a fan, and I come here and we just talk about everything, what's going on in the biohacking world, and share our tips and our tricks. And they told me about the retinol from Young Goose, and I did a little research and I looked online, and then she happened to have some that I could try, and so I tried. I started late last week, so I will keep everybody updated. But I'm very excited. I'll take a pause here. Off camera is my daughter, and we also share a lot of information. And Sophia has a question about at what age someone should start taking retinol or using retinol, because she'd read about that actually in your 20s. What do you say about that, Daniela? Is this hysterical, or should young women start thinking about? I mean, do we think about that at that age?
No, it's not hysterical at all. I think women today start younger and younger with anti-aging, but I think it's very clever. In our age, this wasn't very common. Nobody had this knowledge, and I think it's amazing this knowledge is now around, and people can start. I mean, your skin basically starts aging the day when you're born, unfortunately. And of course, you don't have to use retinol as a kid, but you can definitely start in your 20s and do a light retinol to enhance your skin cell function. In that age, what is even more important in my view is sunscreen. If you want to keep your skin beautiful, use sunscreen. If you can afford nothing else, use sunscreen.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
you do a good job about that, Sophia, don't you?
And what we also have to say, if you start with retinol on a very young age, if you get pregnant, you have to pause it. It's very important.
Oh, that's a good point to bring up then.
So it's really an ingredient you shouldn't use while you're pregnant. Nothing till now, in my view or in my knowledge, happened when you just got pregnant or you're still free on retinol if you stopped it.
Right.
So we never had problems with that. But if you want to get pregnant, you shouldn't be on retinol.
And maybe it's worthwhile actually telling people what retinol does.
Oh, retinol does a lot. Okay, we're starting with it does cell division. I probably have to explain what skin aging consists of. Skin aging of really the skin consists of that your cells, they stop dividing, first of all. So retinol tackles that. The cells that get sluggish, they don't divide anymore. So they probably, the dividing process goes up against, means your skin gets thicker, because when you get older, your skin gets thinner.
Yes.
That's not a good thing. That's what you see, basically. The other thing that retinol does is it also ups your collagen and elastin production, so that is a little bit deeper in the skin, in your second layer, in the dermis. So your collagen and elastin production goes up. They really proved that very well in studies, and they could really show retinol goes in, or all retinoids, and really thickens your collagen elastin layer. So basically modulates your extracellular matrix, and also lets your fibroblasts produce more hyaluronic acid. So that's the moisture that is surrounds your cells in the dermis. What it also does is very anti-inflammatory. What's also a thing of aging, one of the hallmarks of aging, is basically that our inflammation in the whole body, but also in the skin, goes up. And it's not an inflammation that you feel. It's a kind of silent inflammation. You can measure it, but not the typical measuring that you do as a doctor with CRP. And so it's more the interleukins and all this stuff. Tumor necrosis factor alpha, very strange names. Nobody has to remember that. But they go up, and we don't clear them anymore. And retinol lowers the inflammation in the skin. What's great. That's why also rosacea patients can use it. People think you can't use it, but it's not true. You can use it. It also densifies your top layer of the skin, your corneocytes. When we get older, they get very loose, and this layer basically gets more compressed. What's a very, very good thing is it regulates your sebaceous glands. That's why a lot of people
For me, that will be good, because I'm prone to breakouts.
Yes, when you're prone to breakouts.
And I've seen clearing up since I just started on Thursday or something last week.
That's when you're prone to breakouts. This is great. You just use a retinoid, and it will regulate your sebaceous glands down. And the other thing what it does is also it blocks tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is an enzyme that is in the conversion process to your melanin, to your color of your skin. And when your melanocytes, when they get overstimulated through different triggers, they like when we age, we have all this spots finally in the face, and your coloration is uneven. So retinol regulates that down.
Wow.
So that means we get more even toned skin again. And people think aging is wrinkles, but there's a lot of more. We get redness, we get rough skin, we get pores, we get spots. Sounds frustrating, or not if you use retinol, but it's not
it's a big commercial for retinol right now.
Yes, it is. So, but it is not a short time. It's a marathon.
Right.
You have to use it all the time, and the longer you use it, we see that we are having now people who are using it have used it for 30, 40 years. They're amazing. Their skin with 70 is better than some 40-year-old.
Oh my gosh,
yes,
really? I didn't know that was in kind of used for so long.
Yes, it's used for very long. It was basically, it started out as a treatment for acne. Retinoids that are prescription from the dermatologist. But clever dermatologists, even at that time, already recognized there haven't been studies at that time, but they recognized, my client's skin somehow looks better when she used that younger, thicker, denser, more glow. Yeah. And that's why they started prescribing it for anti-aging.
Great. I'm very excited. So you all need to manage your wealth in such a way that you can afford some very key products throughout your life so that you can look young. And it's not just about vanity, right? It's about just feeling good about it. If there's an emotional connection when you feel good about yourself, you come to, I think, everything or most things with an energy that you may your body, like, your body posture. If you're not feeling
Yes.
confident, you know what I mean? In a job interview,
Yes.
at your work, if you need to ask for a raise,
Yes.
I just think your skin is it's just on display.
It is, and I even think that you're producing the certain hormones according to how you feel. I
Yes.
mean, and
Yeah, we really, I
and
think, align on that topic.
yes,
Yeah.
and when you produce these hormones like serotonin,
Yeah.
dopamine, so the feel-good hormones, you display that. Your posture gets
Yeah.
different. Your how you look and what you give out to your surrounding is a completely different thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, skincare is such a big topic for women. And I had mentioned to you guys a couple of times that I'd interviewed a woman who started a menopausal skincare. And that was one of the few blank spaces in skincare out there. And initially, I don't know where she's at now, but she still had a very hard time raising early funds, money to kind of launch it. And it's because so much, and I'm doing a very slight little tangent here, but it's because so much of the money is concentrated in the hands of old white men. They don't look and see the opportunity. No. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is to get women to not only think about how can I take better care of myself. Of course, that's very important. That's part of living a holistically wealthy life. But if you're a woman of means, or you're a young woman and you think, I want to be in a position to invest in future things that make me feel better as well.
Yes, and in the end, you will need less. I mean, the worst what can happen is you haven't done anything till you're 50 or 60, and then you decide you're not going to age gracefully anymore, and then you really have to invest, and you will never and you will never get the results that somebody gets who started early and had just a good regimen of skincare, like a retinoid and a sunscreen, for example. They will just have good skin at 50, so they don't even have to invest that much money.
Good point.
Yes.
Good point. It's compounded returns of an early investment into your skin.
Yes, it is.
So the more you do earlier, the less you have to do then later.
Yes.
It all lines up. It all lines up. Okay. Daniela, we can sort of go on to I put 2 to 5. That might be too big of a range there. But on the topic of beauty, and then we're going to move into the deeper meaning behind what you're doing. I thought we'll just start with some of these things that people are going to be interested in them, right? For sure. One of the things, because we had talked about, where we don't want to invest in absolutely everything. We are bombarded in Instagram. And now, thank God, I have someone like Daniela and Jerry. I can tag them. I see something in Instagram and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. And then I can tag them and I can find out from them, is this worth it? And sometimes she said, oh yeah, that's interesting. That's good. And other times is no, or she gives the explanation why. So I've brought a few of the things that I've bought over the years to ask her about. But before I bring all of these things out, you probably have a couple key things that you think are worth for women to invest in their at-home care.
Yes.
Tools wise, I suppose.
What I always recommend to almost everybody is a photobiomodulation device. So these are the red light masks that everybody knows now. You just have to find a good one. So a lot of devices are underpowered, so you have to see which one you buy. Don't go too cheap. But there are good devices on the market, and they are proven that they definitely do something. You can combine them, and that is really interesting, with some green tea extract serum. If you combine them with some green tea extract serum, you basically make them work way better.
On your face?
On your face, yeah. You put the green tea serum on before you put the mask on, for example. And then you go basically under the red light. This will make more ATP. So ATP is adenosine triphosphate. That is your that is your cell energy. And the cell energy basically goes back as we age. It starts going back from 20 on. So, and as you give your cell more energy, so the cell can regenerate itself better. So this mask is a very easy way to give your cell more ability to regenerate itself, and you can improve the effects just by putting on green tea serum. A lot of people don't know this, but there are nice studies about that you can enhance the effect of a red light therapy with a green tea serum. There are few green tea serums on the market, and you just have to choose a good one.
Okay.
And
interesting. I have a quick question on the red light therapy. Would you advocate, because you can buy the square or the rectangular ones or there's longer ones.
Yes.
Would you advocate more for the mask? Because on the other ones, you can use them all over the body, on your knee, on your, let's say, your shoulder.
Yes.
Or are we talking one should get both?
Depends on what you want to spend. There's a bit bigger devices. They're a bit more expensive.
Right.
But I like them a lot. We have a big lamp since 10 years here. But when you're at home, sometimes it's also very comfortable just to have a mask that you put on your... That's what I do on your face. I switch on a podcast and I listen to it while the mask is running. The mask are only running 10 minutes. So this is just very comfortable. It's me time. If you want to have more effects, yes, you
get one of the bigger ones.
You can get one of the bigger ones. You have whole body effects because your skin on the body also needs more energy to regenerate. It also gets loose when you get older. And you also have the double benefit with the bigger ones that you can use it for when you have pain or some inflammation somewhere. So it will help you with that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing so many good things, and I've got a small machine at home, but I think maybe I didn't spend enough money on it. What would you say is the minimum for a face? Let's talk about the face mask, that you kind of know you're probably in the right range of quality. I mean, is it 300? Is it
so like 300-400, but even then you can get underpowered pieces. I mean, there's a piece on the market right now. I don't want to mention the name.
Okay.
It's a very small piece. It's ridiculous expensive, and I think, oh my God, this is basically, how you call it, Taschenlampe. Flashlight that you put on your face for lots of money. No, don't go for that.
Okay.
So I think I'm not having one, but I think what I heard, Current Body has a really good one that seems fun. I mean, I have one from another company, so that's why I'm not mentioning it here. I don't want to advertise it.
Okay.
But it's basically the same model.
What we can do is maybe afterwards you might have a couple that you would say these are in the good quality range, and I can link several. Yes. And then people can kind of go and look for themselves.
And what you also can do is there are now like little infrared saunas that are full spectrum on the market. And when you have full spectrum, you basically have the right lights, especially if they also have the red light spectrum.
Yeah.
So this is also, you have the whole body, you have the face, and it's very relaxing, but it's also detoxing. It's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-pain. It will improve your sleep. So this is basically the golden rate to go for the best bang for your money. You probably go best with a little sauna. There are even portable ones now that are really good.
Oh, I have that on my wish list. For sure. Okay. So we've got the red light machine.
Yes.
Any others that you would say really for your well-being, your longevity are worth investing in?
Yes. So a home microneedling device, definitely. There are microneedling devices. Yes.
Is this low quality?
Let me see. I can check. I have to check the needle. Yes.
0.5
but
millimeters.
This is very low quality. I can tell you why.
Go ahead. It is an Amazon purchase. I will admit that right now.
You have to have single separated needle. These are like little knives. They basically look like little triangles.
Yes.
This will make too much damage to your skin. This is not good.
Good to know.
You really have to have separated needles. They have to be sharp, so good quality.
Yeah.
And then with a 0.5, you're completely fine off, and you needle at home like once a week with 0.5, and you will get beautiful results. And what you also have, the needling makes your cell communicate anymore. I mean, why should your skin know that a wrinkle is a problem for it? It's not a problem.
Sure.
But when you needle it, you basically tell your cells, the problem is here. Work on it. So your cell starts communicating again and working on that. And the other thing how microneedling is work, besides of opening up the cell communication, is that you open up the skin, and now your skin is basically open for all the other products that you can give in. So I would really choose wisely, so you can put on your retinoids, your vitamin C's. It has to be products that are compatible with microneedling, so don't use every product that can be problematic. So basically the best thing would do, you go to some professional clinic and somebody trains you what to use at home needling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really is interesting because when I was here last week getting the retinol, we were talking about the skincare routine, and I said, "Oh, should I put an oil or something on there before?" And Daniela's face was like, "No, don't ever do that."
No.
And it got me thinking that how many of us get any sort of a formal training when we're young about what's proper skincare routine? We get it from the Estee Lauder counter or the, you know what I mean? Like whoever, Bobby Brown, like, I mean, it's not very official. And so I think that now's the time. Let's just figure this out. And that is something that one of the reasons why we're talking to you today, but also you are maybe doing some sort of educational things in the future on microneedling.
Yes, I will. Because what I recognize, I mean, I have a lot of clients and I teach my clients how to needle correctly at home as I teach doctors and also estheticians how to needle. I do a short version for my clients so I know when they're doing it at home, they're doing it properly. And a lot of people, especially when they have a clinic like mine, think, oh no, then this takes away work from me. No, it helps me. It improves my results. If you do something at home, it's like you come in the clinic for the marathon, but in between you do your jogging round at home.
Yes.
And this really just gives you better results and people love that. And also for a few people, it's not even financially possible to go into a clinic. And so for them, it has to be also a possibility to do it at home, but they have to be trained right. So nothing is happening that is not good. I mean, one of the biggest downfalls of microneedling is when you use something that is not made for microneedling and you needle it in, and this is not because first of all you have to see that you get a good device, and the other thing is the serums that you use have to be have a permission for needling. How you say that? A certificate, because the ingredients that you use for microneedling, their weight, their molecular weight, they have a certain molecular weight that is not allowed to be bigger, because if it's bigger, your body might experience that as a foreign body and then just encapsulates it, and then you do granulomas. So that's what we see when people are doing home needling without any training and just use. And it happens even in clinic, because if you go to some esthetician and even to some doctors who are not trained, they don't know it, and they might think the serum has beautiful ingredients, but unfortunately the molecules, they have such too big size, so your body thinks, oh, that's a foreign body, and starts just to encapsulate. From this stuff, you don't get rid of it for a long time, believe me.
That's very important information.
Yeah, this is really so that's, I think, it's not important who does the microneedling. It's important the person who does it is trained.
Yes.
And know what she does.
Definitely. And that, I guess that kind of takes us a little bit around the education. Yeah,
the education is all. And I think everybody should educate themselves, just to also have the knowledge to help themselves, just with skincare. Yeah. I mean, when I started with microneedling, basically, I educated myself, and then I needled everybody in the clinic who wasn't quick enough. Running away.
No, I mean, I think it's great. And again, coming back to your philosophy and your kind of what drives you is that what you've told me, and I'll, of course, let you say it in your own words, but there is a desire there to reach more people, and that you do have, on balance, quite wealthy clients. But that doesn't mean you don't want to help share all of your wealth of knowledge in a way that everybody else can benefit from.
Yes. I have clients in every range, basically. And I try to help everybody, because everybody should be able to live the best life and have a nice skin and feel good about themselves. And so I have people who come here and they tell me my amount that I can spend in a month is this and this. And then I advise them what's the best way to go with this amount of month. I mean, don't all have endless amounts of money and can just splurge. There are people who can do that, but there are people who can't. And then you still have to do the best with the amount that you have.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that philosophy.
And then it's even more important that you don't spend the money on the wrong things.
Yes.
Because then you can just actually waste money.
And I'm guilty of this in my life. I've stopped, or I've gotten much better recently, but I always did small expenditures thinking it's not, what's it matter if I just try out this little thing at Boots, like when we were in the UK. And then if you look at the amount of money I spent at Boots in a month, it's that kills me. Then I'm like, I could have then just taken that money and invested it in something high quality for myself, or whatever. And I think that we can really piddly shit our way into stupidity.
It is like that. But that's what also clients told me. I mean, often this you recognize that stuff is not working for you. So you go, you buy a cream, it doesn't work. So you buy the next one, doesn't work. So you end up with a shelf full of creams. You have all of them haven't used up at all. You use a little bit, then you recognize, oh, it doesn't work. So people usually tell me, okay, when they start on a good skincare regimen, they have this, and they know what they have to spend, and they stick with it. They're not even tempted anymore to go and try something because what they use works. So, and I think that's where we have to get.
Well, one thing that you had also mentioned to me about retinol is the delivery mechanism used.
Yes. There are a lot of retinols on the market, and very cheap retinols on the market. The problem is the cheap retinols usually, or not all, I'm sure there are good cheap retinols on the market, but some of them, and I know some of them, don't have a good delivery system. And you can feel it. They say it has 2% of retinol. You put them on the skin and you don't feel anything, basically. A good formulated retinol will make you a little bit red. And it has to do that because, I mean, we're coming back to biohacking. Skin rejuvenation works also like sports on a hormesis principle. So we are actually stressing the skin a little bit to make it stronger. And if it doesn't make your skin, at least in the beginning, a little bit red, then it probably the delivery system, it's not good, and it won't do anything. It's wasted money.
So we definitely don't want you guys to waste money, and we want to give you as much, which we have done, packed a lot of great information into this. So now let's get to the elephant, the blue elephant in the room. What did I do to my tongue? Tell us about methylene blue, because I have a very blue tongue and teeth.
Methylene blue is basically just a dye, but biohackers use it because it makes more ATP. And what we use is basically a troche of methylene blue. A troche is something that you put into the cheek. Would you buckle? It's basically the buccal administration because you absorb it very well through your skin in your mouth, and as it's a very close proximity to your brain, it works very good on your brain. So you do more ATP. What's very important when you want to be very awake and sharp in your answers. So we both took a little bit of methylene blue before we started here.
So we could be very focused on solving your skin problems, your beauty problems, your aging problems in 45 minutes.
And the best thing is it has no side effects.
I mean, it's very interesting, and I don't want to overstep what can be said about it. But one of the things that I also found interesting is that with dementia and things like that, we've noticed people will eat more sweets. And I'd asked Daniela about that because I thought perhaps she's familiar with why, because I didn't know why. And she said that the brain is just working so hard. And anyway, normally our brain takes up a huge amount of energy, right, as a percentage of what we use, just normal. But when you've got people who are dealing, unfortunately, with dementia, their brain is apparently like just
low energy,
working even harder to get very little.
Yes.
And so the methylene blue is one very, I guess, way to kind of
to give your brain more energy. And of course, as everything every cell in our body loses energy as we age, and we both are Generation M.
Yes, Generation M, Generation Menopause.
And so we definitely have less energy in our cells, and you have to find ways how you produce more energy. And short term, of course, this is not a long term solution. Short term
and it's not reversing anything. It's just helping to give somebody that mental energy.
You need a bit more mental energy for some event like this event. You can use that. It has no side effects. It's actually a very elegant method. I mean, if you want to have more energy long term, you have to do sports. You have to put your body under some hormetic stress, like sauna, cold water plunges. You have to sleep enough. You have to have enough daylight because this sets your circadian rhythm. If you don't have daylight in the morning, your circadian rhythm usually doesn't work very well, except you're very young, because then you have so much melatonin that it probably doesn't matter that much. But in our age, we won't produce enough melatonin anymore in the evening, so we won't go to sleep very well, or maybe wake up in the night, because other hormones also are havocing with our sleep. So,
I mean, I know I could do a 12-hour podcast with you. And we may just, I'm very confident this is going to be popular, and we'll probably have to do a part 2 down the road, or everybody's just going to stampede your office. What are in your daily routine, we don't necessarily have to get into the beauty regime at the moment, but what are maybe you can do it on a weekly basis if that's better, but what are your minimums where you're like, I will make sure that I always do these things for myself, for my longevity? Because I know you have quite a variety of things that you do at home.
Yes.
You've got your sauna. Yes. You've just got your cold plunge bath, yes. Which I actually asked for Christmas, but Sophia couldn't find it. But we're going to be hot on the trail for that thing. Yeah. Are there any things that are non-negotiable for you? You're like, I will do these every week or every day.
Yes, I basically go really almost every day, as you said, into the sauna. I even have 2 saunas. I'm very fortunate. I have a full spectrum infrared in my mountain home. And so in the weekends when I'm in my mountain home, I go into a full spectrum infrared.
Nice.
And I go every evening basically in the real hot sauna, dry air sauna. Oh, yes. Nice. Yeah, every evening before I sleep, it just makes me sleep so well. And of course, I still combine it with melatonin, because from a certain age, even if we go out in the morning, we produce less melatonin, and melatonin is your sleep hormone, but it does a lot of more. It's a very good antioxidant, and one of the reasons why we age is that we build up a lot of oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is not just bad. We need it for some signalings in the body, but we don't have to have too much of it. So I'm a big believer in melatonin, and I'm not advising anybody else to take a melatonin every night, but I'm doing that for myself. And I sleep very well because I always take care that I sleep at least 8 hours. So I'm really good with that, very strict. I try to go for a walk after I go up every morning. Sometimes it's hard because I have to be here in the very early morning. I try to do sports at least 3 to 4 times a week, strength and cardio both interchangeably. And I have a red light mask. I have actually several red light devices. I don't have a mask, so when I'm lazy, I use the mask, but I also have a bigger device. So I do that interchangeably in some way every day.
The red light one as well, the mask.
The mask, the mask you can do every day. The bigger devices, you do one over the other day, because otherwise the dose gets too high, and it has like a biphasic curve. If you get the dose too high, it will stop working after a while. So the mask you can do every day, and if I somehow can do it, I do it every day. I have a little electric device at home. I have several little electric devices, but I use some electric device that stimulates my muscles at home. I have another one also at home from another company, so this is no advertisement for a certain one, but
and that is would that kind of help keep the skin taut? Is that what it's
This is actually not working on your skin, or let's say it like that. It works second way. It probably improves also your ATPs, your cell energy. But what it really does is it gives your muscles in your face more energy, so you are more alive. They're more lifted. I mean, I might have to explain the face. It's a multi-layer system that ages. And it's not just the skin that ages, basically. It starts with the bone. We're losing bone, especially around the jawline and around your eye sockets. So that's why your eyes later starts looking, because they're like sunken in, and your jawline is not defined as anymore. It misses this angle here because this angle just gets lost. So then the next thing is your muscles, they are attached to your bone with some bands. And there are a few bands that are really attached to the bone. So they get loose and your bone is escaping. So it's really hard for the muscles to get attached to the bones. Then you lose your fat, that's your volume in your face. And you have deep and superficial fat pads, and you start losing basically fat in your face. So you can replace that with fillers. We haven't found anything else right now to tackle that except for fillers. Then your muscle weakens, and not just weakens, it stiffens. It stiffens like your back stiffens when you get up in the morning, and it aches. So, and if you're always in a bad mood, it stiffens in the wrong position. So that is very dangerous. That are the people who are always having this Look, so be careful.
Resting bitch face.
Yeah,
We
right.
want to avoid that.
Thank you. That's a very good expression. I love that. Yeah, and then in the end, your skin ages. So one of the stuff that you want to tackle while you age is your muscle. That's why I use at least 2-3 times a week. Somehow I try to finish in 10 minutes of muscle stimulation in my face.
Okay.
And having, of course, skincare routine. I'm very diligent. In the morning and the evening, I think I never went to bed without de-makeupping my face and putting my retinoids on the face.
Okay, so we did talk about that. What is the order of things? So we're giving you so much value, people. I mean, it's amazing. What is the general, just the basic skincare order of things when you are getting ready in the morning or going to bed at night?
So you also, of course, you clean morning and the evening. I am not very diligent when it comes to cleaning with a cleanser in the morning. I sometimes think in the night,
because you did it the night before. I wondered myself about that. Am I over cleaning?
Yes, if you use in the morning only water, I'm fine with that. So I'm not diligent. If you use a toner, that would be your second step.
Okay.
If you have a serum, and if you use second serum, you basically go by consistency. The thinner serums comes first. Usually the actives, your actives like retinol, vitamin C, and so they're usually thinner. So you use them first. Okay. And then on top of that, you would put a moisturizer if you need one, depends on your age. Yeah. And then on top of that, you would put your sunscreen. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And at night, you wash. At night, I definitely use a cleanser to get rid from all the environmental pollutions that are outside. Then if you use a toner, that would be your second step. Yeah. Then would come your serum. And after the serum, there are now steps that you can use. There are like masks that you can put on top of your serum. When you sleep with the mask, it's translucent, it's completely dry. So this is something that I do. It's beautiful to actually enhance the products that are underneath. They work together. They get pushed more into the skin, basically.
Okay. Yes. Have you heard of squalene?
Yes.
Is it squalene or squalene?
Squalene. Yes.
That's a hydrating. Is that right?
Yeah, that's hydrating. What I always say is, it's a good hydrator, but there are no single substances that are doing the job. Usually, I mean, your skin fats, they're a mixture of different fats. Your skin is built like brick and mortar, and your mortar, I say it now, is like that. It's built of different kind of fats. So usually the best products have a mixture of different kinds of fats. Okay. So they try to make it as close to your own skin mortar or skin fats as possible. Okay. And squalene is a good one, but I think it has to be mixed with other fats and oils too. Okay.
Well, if you have any ideas, you can tell us later, and we can put those in the link those in the show notes. Okay. So I think we'll sort of kind of come down to sort of the crux of your philosophy, and then we're going to slowly bring the podcast to a close, and then we're going to do a separate segment and get shown around the clinic a little bit. So we'll put that up on YouTube, and then of course we'll share it on social media and things like that. But one of the things that you really you said more than one time when I've been here is that you can put as much on your face, you can do as many treatments as you want, but if you are not a happy person inside, recognizing happiness is not it's not a steady state, right? But just in general, that you have some joy in your life, nothing's going to matter.
No, nothing. There is no treatment in the world that will make you beautiful if you're sad, if you're depressed,
angry,
miserable. Yeah. You just won't look beautiful, even if you have no wrinkle at all. Yeah.
And how do you practically bring this mindfulness into your work, into your practice with your clients?
Oh, I love what I do, so that is very easy for me.
Yes.
So I get up every morning and I look forward to come here and to help people and do what I do, because it's a very satisfying job that I'm doing. People are happy with what I'm doing. And
it's so joyful when I come here. It's so exciting.
Also spreading knowledge is very joyful. People love when they come here and I give them new bits and bytes of new knowledge, and I'm always reading up new studies, and I always have usually something new that I come up with. And and I'm not just trying to treat the skin. I am trying to help people to live a healthy lifestyle at all.
And you talk to them about their diet a little bit.
Yes, we do. We talk about diet. We talk about the lifestyle. We even talk about how they feel and what makes them happy and not. And I try to teach them that they have to be grateful for what they have. And I know there are situations in life when you lose somebody very close to you. I mean, it's hard to be happy at that time. But these times pass, and then you have to get yourself up again and live your life on and see what makes you happy again.
Yeah. And I guess you've probably seen this in your world. I've seen that in the banking world. Money doesn't make you happier. It magnifies however you are. If you are unhappy without money, you're unhappy with money. If you are generally a happy person, joyful person, kind person, and you're successful financially, that usually gets magnified. So it is important to note that the money aspects, I say it's sort of the surfboard or the boat, that it's kind of we decide which way we set the sails, right? The money's kind of the boat that lifts us, or the surfboard.
Yeah, of course it makes it easier if you have enough money to get you all the stuff that make you happy. Even, I mean, I'm not spending a lot of money on handbags or stuff like that.
Right.
I'm really spending money on, I love to go to congresses and get new knowledge. That makes me happy. And of course it helps that I can afford that.
But you work hard for that as well. So,
yes, I work for that, so I can afford to go to congresses and read all the books that I want to read and stuff like that. But everybody has to decide for themselves what makes them happy. But you have to find a kind of happiness. You have to be grateful for what you have and try to live a happy life. And if you're in the wrong job, change your job and try to do something else that makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean.
I've been happy as an ICU nurse, but I still changed my job because I just was eager to do something else, and I could feel, no, we can do it better. We can do better than what is existing right now. When we started, there was nobody who were connecting body and skin.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and it's clearly you were on the right path, because this is already a very fast-growing space, but it's still got so much more to grow.
Yes, and I think what also sets us apart, we also always try to work in a natural way with the skin. In a natural way, meaning we want to look natural.
Yeah.
There are enough people around, and you look at them and think, oh my God. And nobody wants that actually, but it still happens, and it happens way too often. And we always try to work with the resources that the body has to make you younger and look better and feel better. And you can do that, but then that's when you have to incorporate everything, how you feel, and that you do sports and eat well and stuff like that.
And I know I mentioned spermidine to Daniela, and then she was quite excited about it, and contacted the company and everything. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely am. But you had said something to me, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but the way you said it was your inner approach to beauty was this cocktail. Do you remember when you said that, cocktail for the cells?
Oh, you mean the hormone cocktail?
Well, you sort of said you get the good ones or the bad ones in the sense of your mindset.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you know that. I mean, if you ever been in love, or if you've seen somebody who is in love, look at them. They're so beautiful.
Yes.
And they're beautiful because they're happy, and they do this amazing hormone cocktail. And I wish somebody could make it. Bottle it. Yes, because that's what happens. And the same happens when you are just living a happy life a little bit, of course, because then you produce the right hormones, and they make you look more beautiful, of course. I mean, when you have enough dopamine and serotonin, you just look differently.
Again, which is why we did a little dancing before we started.
Yes.
There's really science behind getting yourself in a physiological state of positivity, and you can't just toxic positivity your self-talk, right?
No,
you have got to, dancing and jumping and moving actually does release those hormones.
Yes,
and it puts you in a good mood, and it gets you ready for whatever you're going to tackle.
Yes. I have been before Corona basically in a salsa class, and I loved it. And
fun.
There was, no matter how tired I was when I got there after that, I felt amazing.
Exactly. No, it's so true. Okay, we have had a bombastic episode, I think. And I just end with a few quick rapid fire questions. Very quick.
Oh my God.
No, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. It's just a little bit of fun. What was the best 100 francs or less that you've spent on yourself in the last year? It doesn't necessarily have to be a beauty product. It could be really anything. But what was like, wow, that was money well spent, but 100 or less.
100 or less.
It really could be anything. Could be a book. I mean, anything.
Oh, I
anything.
spent so much money on books. If I splurge on books. I'm awful actually at that. But besides of that, a good restaurant visit.
Okay,
going for a really good meal.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying.
Yes.
I find.
Cool. That's a good one. What would you say is the best investment you've made in general? This is going to be this is a mean question for you. Your saunas. Okay.
Yes.
Your saunas.
Yes, at home my saunas. Yes. I wouldn't want to miss my saunas.
I'm eifersüchtig. I'm jealous. I want those saunas. That's on my list. What do you think? What are the key things? Again, just in a rapid fire way, that will get us towards a longer life. Not less, lifespan, but health span.
Eat less, move more.
Okay, that's easy. What material change have you made, if any, during or post pandemic? Like you sort of, maybe the pandemic caused you to reprioritize something, or is there any change that you've made?
I got way more diligent with my sports program, and I also got way more diligent with the cold plunges, because I think that's so good for your immune system. I was basically going to the lake regularly and swimming even in winter, and now thanks to Jerry, I even have a little cold plunge at home.
We've got there's some pictures of her.
On Instagram.
We'll tag those. No, I think it's fantastic. Okay, and the last question, what is your definition of a wealthy life?
Be happy.
Be happy.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to tell us? Do you want to tell people how they can reach you? Or Jerry, you want to come tell everybody how they can reach you?
Yeah, we have a website. It's called foreverbeautiful.ch. You will find a lot of information. We also have a blog there. Then we have an Instagram page. It's called Forever Beautiful by Science, and
we'll link that for sure.
Yes, it's always with an
underscore. Yeah.
Yes, and otherwise, Facebook, and by phone you can always phone me. And
are you doing online consultations for people who are not living here in Switzerland? Who want to just, let's say, hire you to... I
do telephone consultations, online consultations, also with my clients. I have a lot of clients that are from far away. So what they usually do, they call me, and we sometimes even do a FaceTime.
Exactly.
Yes, and I advise them what to do. And my clients usually also all have my number, and they just WhatsApp me when
they just text you.
When they have a question. I did that and that. Can I put this cream on top? How is this device? Should I buy that?
It's so funny. It's so true. I already find myself just tagging them and everything. Should I buy that? Should I get that? Anyway. Well, Daniela, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me too.
And we will close out in this format, and then join us, everybody, on YouTube, and you'll see us on social media, looking around the clinic a little bit and seeing some of the very cool devices that they have. Yeah, one very new one, which is super cool. So thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you soon, and namaste, and
namaste.
Go have a bombastic